Welcome back, podcast fans. This is Alan Swam, episode 27.
And this is RM, episode 27. We just wanted to start out. We do have something we want to get to, but I just want to show you something first.
Okay.
Live on the air. So I asked you off the air if we talked about my car accident on the air, because I don't remember talking about it.
I don't remember. I think we did. I don't remember. I think we did.
Okay, so just a refresher. I was in a car accident March 4th. I was coming from behind a hotel, and there's a small intersection. So let me paint the picture so you know, but you'll see it when I show you the video. So you know where the Popeyes is?
Yes.
In the Dover. So there's a hotel right next to it.
And he recorded it.
Yeah, so you can go behind there and you can kind of cross over to come back where I'm at. So there's some bushes where I can't see. So once I'm entering the intersection, a car comes and T-bones me. And you saw my truck outside. So.
Yeah, I parked next to it.
Okay, so it's damaged.
It's done for.
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Because I have court, and since there's this whole coronavirus thing, they pushed my court date back at least 2 months.
But this is evidence too that could go in your favor.
And I did my own research too. So what I did was I took the route again and I recorded it on my phone. So there is a school zone sign that says 20 miles an hour when
She was going way faster than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it says 20 miles an hour when children are present. School's shut down, right? There's no other speed limit. So
But the thing is, school wasn't shut down when that happened, though, correct?
they were probably in school, but it says when children are present. So, you know, when they're
All
out.
right, so there wasn't now, so that doesn't count.
Okay, but there's no other speed limit there.
So you can say
20
something about
miles
that.
an hour. That's all that's posted.
I agree.
She was doing more than 20 miles an hour. So I took pictures. I got the brunt of the damage. She has a little, crack in her grill. But check this out. Now, I tried to
Enhance it.
I've saved this 4 times. It's on my phone. It's on my computer. It's on a skip disk.
You have it backed up.
And I have
off
it
your
on my
ass.
email, so I'm not going to lose this
No.
video no matter what.
Who sent it to you?
I called the guy. I called the hotel, and I told him the situation. I told him the time of day. I told him what the cars look like.
They let you have it.
Yeah, it took me 2 weeks because
get it.
he had to find it.
Okay.
Then I guess he was going to put it
You're
on my...
not a cop, so why did he didn't let you? He could not let
I
you
just
have
kept it real with him.
He kept it real. That's
Yeah.
probably why, because technically you're not law enforcement. They could have declined that.
They could have.
Yeah.
But he, in good faith, I guess he watched the video, and he was kind of like, okay.
This guy has a
And I
point.
told him I have a court date and everything, so I needed the video to help my case out.
that was good by the manager or by the Walker
Yeah.
Hill.
All right, so I'm going to show you this video, and then I'm going to explain it to the listeners. So here's the video.
Okay.
I wish I could blow it up, but I can't.
No, you cannot.
So that's me.
I see you.
Now he's looking at this video of me going into the intersection. And
Yeah.
what does it look like?
Look, she didn't even stop.
She just ran right into me. Now, can you see her coming behind? It's on loop, so you can see her coming behind the trees, so I can't see her.
No. But the thing is, you stopped to have the stop sign, so you waited your turn.
Yeah. So they had me for failure to yield, but I was at a complete stop.
Yeah, I could
And
see this.
I didn't shoot out into the intersection. You see me easing out into it, right?
Yeah. You did not.
And
yeah.
she ran right into me.
So to
Didn't
the
stop,
listeners, so you
swerve.
guys can't see this. So what RM is explaining is what we're seeing is the fact that he stopped at the stop sign. So those pink or like purple bushes
Yeah.
off to the side right there. So he made a complete stop at the stop sign like you're supposed to do, and he eases out. She just kept going, and she was not going 25. She looked like she was going maybe 40, 45.
She was going pretty fast.
She was going 40, 45, 50.
It can't be that. If she was going that fast, I probably would have been injured. So let's
No,
maybe
it's
30.
30 or 35.
something. But it was over the 20.
It was over the 20.
Right.
Yes. But the thing is, she didn't even pay attention. So as I'm watching it, she did not pay attention.
So that's my question. Was she on the phone?
Yes. The way that she's looking, look like she's on the phone because she's not playing the.
She's not swerving. She's not
Nope.
stopping. It's a constant speed. She runs right into me.
I wish the audience could see this. So I wish we could put this up on the cast.
I might do it.
Okay.
I might. Because I don't think it can't hurt my case in any way. So
It's
yeah,
pretty
it
clear.
doesn't.
It's showing evidence. So hopefully you guys will be able to see this. But you guys make your own judgment. Was RM at fault or was this lady on the phone? Was she on the phone? I think it's her fault the way the evidence is showing it here. She doesn't stop. You stop because you had the stop sign. You didn't see past the bushes, so you don't know.
Yeah, I can't see her.
No, but the thing is, you made a complete stop, and you're trying to go, and nothing else. She didn't even try to stop.
She just ran right into
She ran. The evidence is right
now on that video. She has more than enough time to hit the brake.
Yeah, because
when she sees me, it's still like what, 2 car, 3 car lengths.
Yes, I can see that. Yeah.
She could have stopped and just ran right into me. So now my Jeep, the total damages of the Jeep is worth more than the Jeep. I mean, the Jeep is not worth as much as the damages. So if I can prove myself where she is at fault, then her insurance. Here's the story though. I told you off the air. Maybe we did talk about it on the air.
Yeah,
but
we did.
I have all my insurance information on my phone. So it takes me maybe 10 minutes both ways to get to Popeyes and back here. So I'm like, I don't need my phone, you know? So the cop got me for not having my insurance on me. But when he gave me his email, as soon as I got home, I shot him all my information. She had expired insurance.
And he hit her for that,
yeah,
right?
he hit her for that.
Okay.
So now she has to go to court and prove that she actually had insurance during that day. So if she went out and got insurance, it'll say the day that the accident happened.
Okay.
She has to show insurance that she already had it.
She really messed up.
Yeah. So I have her on that. If she can't prove insurance, then she shouldn't have been out on the road. And I have the video where she ran right into me. So she must have been on her phone.
Or doing something she wasn't supposed to.
Yeah,
driving.
she wasn't paying attention.
She could have ended your life.
She could, if she was going fast enough,
she would have ended your life.
So, of course, I think I told you this. I had to get out on the passenger side. I couldn't get out on the driver's side.
I don't have enough video to see that. But
yeah, because he cut it off. I mean, he just showed like I guess the accident.
Why did
where
you
I
need
could
to? You don't need to see you guys outside.
Yeah,
the car.
you don't need all that.
No.
But like I said, my court date is in a couple months. It was supposed to be 2 weeks from that accident because we were going to hold off on recording
this
that
week.
Thursday.
Oh, that last Thursday. It was last Thursday.
But I called up there and they said because of this virus, they're gonna reschedule everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's good. So hopefully that helps your case.
Yeah, I think it will.
And if RM is going to put it on there, I want you guys to make a decision. Comment as much as you want. Let us know, was it his fault or was it the woman's fault? In my opinion, it was the woman's fault. She failed to yield. She failed, even though there was no yield sign, she failed to even stop.
She just ran right into me.
Yeah, the way the video is showing, the way that I saw is you had a stop sign. You made a complete stop. So that failure to, for one, I don't know why he gave you failed to yield. If it's gonna be anything, it should have been failed to the stop sign because it was a stop sign, not a yield sign. Okay, cop.
I guess he got me for failure to yield when I saw the car coming.
That's
but again,
bullshit.
You can't see
but
because
that's
there's
bullshit.
bushes.
That's bullshit because the fact is, if he was gonna get you for something, it should have been for did not stop at the stop sign, but you did
A
clearly
complete stop.
stop.
A complete stop.
You just go boom, boom, go.
No.
You stopped.
Yeah.
Looked and eased out, and that's when she just like, oh wait, oh shit.
Yeah, and just ran right into me.
So you guys can make that determination because if RM puts it up on the thing, which I think he's going to.
Let me decide. But even if I don't,
yes,
when the court, when the court date is finished and everything, I might put it out later. But you saw it for yourself, and you're not being.
No, guys, I'm not being
like biased or anything.
I'm not being biased right now, just because he's my friend. I'm not saying that. The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
You can see it right there in the video that she was at fault. I feel if I was the judge looking at that, hell, I would grant in RM's position, his favor, saying she needs to pay for all damages. Any medical things that you need to do, she needs to pay for that.
So here's the good thing too. So there's a bad thing and a good thing. So my insurance went up to $400 a month.
All right, so you need to get in contact with them, show them that video.
Well, okay, that's the thing. So the woman told me, she said, well, after your court date, whatever judgment they come to, if it's in your favor, then your insurance, I have to cancel the insurance now because I can't afford that. So someone gave me a site to another place where the insurance is lower. The only reason my insurance went up is because of the accident. I'm at the, listen to this, she told me, she said, I'm at the end of my 6-month period. So now they have to lump all this accident recovery money onto my insurance. So, but again, because if you look at the paperwork, the cop has me at fault. At the scene of the crime.
I totally agree. Let me comment on that. So I totally disagree with that woman. I get the other money that you pay that insurance company. Mm-hmm. They pretty much can fuck off because the fact is that they could have covered that without. Even though they don't have all the facts to just get in the cop story. You can't believe what a cop is human. You can't believe what the cop is saying. You need to see proof or something else. They should not have raised you point blank, period.
Well, here's the thing about the police. He got there and he just heard the story. And the way she described it was accurate. I did come out and she hit me.
But again, too, she was on.
That's the thing we don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Let's say
this is before we found out that her insurance was expired.
But the thing is, let's say if she was on the phone. But she threw you underneath the bus. Technically, she did.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
She did because she knew she was at fault because she was not paying the lick of attention. The cop hook, line, and sinker fell for it.
Yeah.
Instead of even trying to, being like a detective and try to figure it out.
I played the detective.
You put in the work. So that's what I'm saying is.
Yeah.
So what I'm pretty much saying is, that insurance, like I said, can just go bug off. Find somebody else.
But here's the thing. So, and this is a word to the wise, and it's something I'm going to do. Even if your car's paid off, I would keep full coverage on it.
Yeah, always.
Okay, so I was in a bind where, I wasn't making a lot of money, so I did the liability. But they do have uninsured motorists. So if it is proven that she didn't have insurance, now my insurance company can pay for my damages because she was uninsured.
Yeah, but then that means that they can't sue her insurance company to get the money back.
In any case, I'm going to court. I'm going to show all my evidence.
Yep.
And then once
I have
my gut feeling is just going to be in my favor.
Why wouldn't it be? Because the evidence was right there.
Right.
Anybody with the blind, unless the judge is getting paid off or the judge is having an affair with that one that hit you, I don't see
how it could go against me.
Exactly.
But once I do get it in my favor, then the ball's in my court. I can sue people now, and I can go after.
You can sue her. Really, technically, I would. I'll be honest with you. I would.
Yeah,
I would.
Hell yeah. I mean, I lost my fucking car.
Yeah.
And I've had that Jeep for 7 years. I've never been in an accident outside the Meineke situation. It's never been in an accident. So now I had to go out and buy another car because it's not worth the time and the money to get that fixed because it's not even worth that much money.
Yeah, plus now you get a car payment unless you can somehow get the insurance to pay some of the car payment.
Well, that's the thing. If I get like a nice sum of money for whatever. So I'm going to do my research on that.
Yeah, do it.
I'll do that. But whatever money I get, it's definitely going on to this other car. So that way, I'm closer to getting it paid off. But anyways, again, we will touch on that when it's all finished. Moving along, though. For those listeners out there who are wrestling fans, we had an episode about the corruption in the WWE.
Yep. And the audio episode, I think it's like I don't remember the episode.
Like
it's
6 or something like that.
6 or 8. If you guys want to listen to that, I would check that out first before you listen to this.
Yeah, I know the artwork is. It looks like a desert and it's like purple.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
You guys need to check that out because if you want to know backstory first, then come back and listen to this. I would, just so you guys know what's going on.
Yeah, because I think we talked about Chris Benoit, but Vice just put out a documentary and it's powerful. Any listeners, you have to watch it. You would be doing a disservice. Me about to explain this has nothing on that documentary. I mean, the way they put it together, the story is crazy.
So I don't know anything with this. So this is something new for me, guys. So me and the listeners was definitely new to what you're about to say. So I'm going to see what you're going to say. I'm going to see what I'm going to comment on it.
So let me start from the beginning and I'm going to try to do it as concise and quickly as possible. So Chris Benoit is a wrestler and I think he started out in Japan.
Okay.
So there's 3 people in the story. Chris Benoit is the main person in the story. Eddie Guerrero, and we'll say Chavo Guerrero, which is Eddie Guerrero's nephew. So Eddie and Chris started off in Japan. They didn't like each other. They hated each other. But they had to wrestle against each other for like a week. And within doing that, they created this brotherhood. Like they were super tight. They were like this after, they had their matches. So they go from Japan to WCW. Like this timeline is from like 1996 to about 2004.
Where the corruption, I say, that was going on.
Yeah, but this has less to do with the WWE or WCW. Mm-hmm. It's more about Chris Benoit. When you hear this story, you're gonna be like, shit, man. So they go to the WCW. They're putting in work. They're one of the hardest working wrestlers of all time. They get to a point where they're not getting title matches. So what do? They walk out of WCW together. Go to WWF. Vince McMahon picks them up just like that. And what does he do? He gives them title shots. So Eddie Guerrero becomes the champion, and I think Chris Benoit in the same WrestleMania or something, they become champions. And they've been together since Japan Wrestling, so they're like this. To speed things up, I guess there was a match that was going to happen. Chris Benoit, Chavo Guerrero, and Eddie Guerrero were all in a hotel. Chavo Guerrero, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. They usually go down and they have like a workout session. He gets a call from the front desk. Eddie's not answering his wake-up call. Oh, so the security guy comes to Chavo. And I want you to pick this apart. Pick this apart too, because I'm listening to the story and some of the story to me doesn't add up, but I'll continue. They get Chavo, they go to Eddie's room, and he has the chain lock on. So they open up the door, take the bolt cutters, and they find Eddie Guerrero on the bathroom floor, like gargling, trying to, for air. He's about to die. So his nephew, Chavo, has him in his arms, and he's trying to, coach him through it, and he dies in his arms. Here's what I don't understand about this. Let's hit the pause button real quick in this story. Why didn't he do mouth-to-mouth resuscitation? If someone's trying to get breath and there's like a blockage, the CPR, don't you do that?
Yeah, that's fishy. Let me play it in my head. Okay, so I see they come into there. He's on the bathroom, so I'm picturing this. And he is gargling, so the nephew comes up there, picks him, holds him in his arms like that.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Let's you can do this. So I'm okay. Let me rewind here. So what happened? Did he take drugs? It was something that he choked on?
Okay, I missed something.
You missed something.
I did miss something. Okay.
What's going on?
So a lot of wrestlers, they're addicted to, we talked about it, the pain medication, and they're on alcohol. So yes, Eddie Guerrero did have a stint where he was an alcoholic. But here's the thing.
Alcohol does make you gargle like that.
Okay, so let me back up and then we'll get back to this. Right. So Eddie Guerrero went through a tough period where he was about to lose his family because he was drinking. Like, his wife would come home and he'd be like passed out. So his wife said there was like the third time she asked God, she was like, you know what? If you're ready to take him, just take him. Because, he was just like fucked up on drugs and alcohol. He got fired from the WWE. And he hit rock bottom and he bounced back. He changed his life. He stopped drinking. His wife came back to him. The WWF hired him again. Then that's when he won the championship. So he was there first. He hit rock bottom with the drugs and alcohol. He came back, got hired again, and then he won the championship. So I don't know if this was like a year or so later, he started getting it. Okay, so here's another part that I don't want to forget. He found God. So after, sometimes that's all it takes is you hit rock bottom and then you turn to God and you find God. So he's trying to tell other wrestlers about God. His best friend, Chris Benoit, he's trying to tell Chris Benoit about God, but Chris Benoit is not religious. He's kind of just like this. Those who are wrestling fans know Chris Benoit has this like stone face, no emotion. He just comes in, does his job, and doesn't show any emotion. So after all this, I guess he relapsed, and that's how they found him on the bathroom floor.
What they quote unquote said.
What do you mean?
Like I'm smelling murder. I'm smelling that because.
Okay, why?
Why? Because for one. Okay. This is what I'm taking out of it. All right. So he found God.
Okay.
But he's trying to push it on other people, like not pushing it, but you know what I'm saying. He's trying to
expose them to it, yeah.
And they maybe rub some feathers. I'm not saying that's more enough to kill somebody, but again, if the WWE was corrupt, like people say that it was, it maybe did ruffle a lot of feathers.
Okay.
Especially if it sounded like the devil was doing some work as well inside there, as well as God was trying to, and and the devil and God can occupy the same spot. So the devil wanted to cut that out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So again, listen to our old episode because we talked about the corruption in the WWE. So the devil is definitely there. Yes, absolutely, doing some wild stuff.
But obviously, like I'm a believer, so it's like when I guess Eddie was trying to get people to come over, try to say, hey, accept Jesus,
like save him,
save him, stuff like that. It
could have.
It rubbed the enemy the wrong way.
Okay.
And maybe somebody, I guess, was in like I'm thinking.
Okay.
I'm pulling Mordor just because of.
I don't want to get hung up on this because this is not even close to.
Okay.
Yeah. So Eddie Guerrero dies. So Chavo,
in his arms.
Yeah, he dies. His nephew is holding his uncle, and he dies in his nephew's hand. So Chavo calls up Chris Benoit, and he says, "Are you sitting down?" And when he told him, they say, "Now this is a person who shows no emotion. They've never seen him tear up. They've never seen him do anything. He just lets out this wail. He's just like he's bawling because that's his brother. They've come from Japan wrestling all the way and became champions together, and now he's dead. And this is when things start to get. So now they're saying Chris Benoit is acting different. Like he would used to go to the gym a certain way, and now he's going different ways and he's taking different cars. He doesn't want anybody to see him. And they're talking about Chris Benoit's going to Eddie Guerrero's family, and he would go up to his room, sit on his side of the bed, and just like bawl out. Like for long periods of time, he's just like crying uncontrollably. You know what I'm saying? This is coming from a person that's all he had was Eddie Guerrero. Whenever he had a problem, he would go to Eddie and talk to it. Not probably even his own wife. They were that tight.
So that tells me that he had nothing to do with his death, right?
No,
because he's showing a lot of emotion.
Yeah, no.
So I wouldn't assume that his nephew would try to. No.
I think it was, to your point, there's so many unanswered questions.
Yes.
First of all, if room service called Eddie Guerrero's room and he didn't answer, wouldn't they go right to the room?
Yeah.
Instead of going to get Chavo and then they have to come and cut the lock, I think they would go to the room first.
That doesn't make sense, no. That's something in the study you could throw. That's monkey wrench right there. That you just pull out.
I mean, that's just a question that I had. A question I have, and then
it's no idea there's still some foul play involved. There's no, because it's just too much. It's just too much uneasy right there.
So here's the timeline. They were supposed to meet at the lobby to work out, or whatever gym they were going to, at 7:00. Mm-hmm. At 5:30, he got the call. So what time did Eddie Guerrero want the wake-up call? So here's the thing. Here's what I don't understand. He didn't answer the wake-up call, right? But he's in the bathroom with his toothbrush in his hand, so that means he was already up. So he would have heard the phone call, right?
Yes.
Okay, what? I see the wheels turning.
No, I wonder. You said he said they had a toothbrush in his hand.
Yeah, so I guess he was in the bathroom brushing his teeth.
I
and he
wonder if
passed out.
you could put. I wonder if they put something on his.
You never know.
Like
what is
poison on some of his toothbrush, because if he's gargling.
I don't know.
I could think of poison, because the fact is, I don't think he was back on drugs. Because if he was saved by God, I don't think so. I know a person that she had a past like that, most likely a little bit worse, and now she's saved. She doesn't smoke. She doesn't drink. She doesn't do anything that's going to hurt herself. She doesn't do the same things that she did. So that's a bunch of hook shit that they said that he relapsed. I don't think he did. Because in God's grace, you don't. So it's like.
Maybe his family. I think his family. That's why I say please watch the Vice.
Please.
But if my memory serves me correctly, I think his family said he might have. So I do know some people. I don't
think, even though his family said, doesn't mean you have no proof unless they show it or they have some evidence.
But we do know there are pastors who sleep with women in the church and they're married. So there are evil. People can abide by something and still. Okay, but
same
the question is...
Yeah, but we're not getting to there, but yeah.
Okay, so the question is, if Eddie Guerrero didn't answer his wake-up call, whatever time it was, I would think he would still be in the bed. Even if he threw up and he drowned in his own vomit, he'd be in the bed, but he was in the bathroom with a toothbrush in his hand.
That doesn't make sense. So that tells me something. If he would have OD'd... You assume when you take drugs like that, you'll be laying down because it put you to sleep. You'd just die a peaceful sleep. So that's out the window. He was in the bathroom brushing his teeth. It's easy. Somebody can slip something onto the toothbrush, like I said, poison, something that's high, because he was gargling.
Yeah.
So that tells me that
he was gargling on his but that's weird.
How?
They said he was okay. They said he was face down. So if you vomit, I don't know anything about ODing. I just know there are some musicians who quote unquote OD'd and they choked on their own vomit because they were sleeping on their back. So if you throw up and you're on your back, it can't come out. but they're saying he's on the floor. So if you're on the floor face down and you vomit, it's coming out.
So that doesn't make sense right there. So that's bullshit. So we ripped that apart.
Okay.
We ripped the fact apart that he was already up.
Yeah.
So if he was in the bed and he OD'd, because again, I don't do drugs, so I wouldn't know. But what I know and what I have heard, and how people the way I picked apart how people have died on overdose, they'll be laying down because it puts them to sleep and they just die and they'll sleep basically tight because it took so much. He was up, so obviously no way in hell he OD'd on nothing that day. I think somebody put poison on his toothbrush or did something to something in something that he was touching. Either they put something on something where it seeps the poison that seeps through your skin.
Well, there's this stuff called resin. I think it's resin. Anybody who's watched Breaking Bad, the TV show, I think it's some type of substance where, like rat poison or whatever, it's like this strong poison where you could put it in someone's drink or put it, and once it gets into your system, I think that's what it does. It makes you like throw up or something like that. Like something like that.
Now we're putting this apart. But
that's something to look up. Like
but why? Okay. That's what we need to get to. Why?
Okay. So let me finish the whole story, then we'll go back to the why, because it still hasn't got to the worst part.
But the thing is, this, I know we're cutting into this, but at the same time, I'm just trying to pull it apart of what you're telling me. You know, it's like, okay, so what you're saying is it doesn't make sense. He did not OD, okay? Like I said, again, the way that we're doing this, you can see as well, and the audience can heal that the fact is that it was foul play involved, and let's continue because I want to know. I want to see if I can figure out why.
So we're just going to wrap up this part of it. So like you said, if he missed his wake-up call, that means he would have overslept, or he was already dead by the time they got the wake-up call, but he was in the bathroom
brushing his teeth.
When they get there, they don't go to his room. They call his nephew, and they both go to the room together. I guess they passed the room and double back. They cut the lock. So they didn't even call. I didn't hear this in the story that they called. Like usually, if you go to the room, you knock on the door. Hey, Eddie, you up? Eddie, you up? Or at least call him. If Chavo Guerrero, they had cell phones at this time, I believe, so you can call his cell phone. They didn't do that. Then when they get in there, they don't do CPR. They just hold him and let him die. Okay, let's move off of that because I don't want to hang up on that.
No, but I know that, but nothing you could do that if it was poison.
Yeah, but go ahead. You would try. If you didn't know he's poisoned, if I come into someone's house that I know and they're laying on the floor and they're gasping for air, that's the first thing turn them over, you know.
Yeah, I got what you're saying.
Yeah, not just sit there and hold him. And
no, I don't. I hope his nephew had nothing.
I don't think so. I mean, if you look at it, it was tough, like him reliving it. Maybe he was in shock and he didn't know what to do.
That could happen.
That could happen too. So when his nephew called Chris Benoit on the phone and told him that his best friend Eddie Guerrero died, he was bawling. His whole mind went crazy. So he got to the point where he wasn't talking to anybody. So his family got him a journal. Write down in your journal, you know, like I guess your feelings and your thoughts. So this is where it gets real crazy. So I guess he was talking to Eddie Guerrero in his journal. And after all of this happened, they looked at his journal and, you know, he was saying things like, we'll be together soon and things like this. So there was this match that Chavo, Chris Benoit, and someone else was supposed to go to. Chris Benoit didn't go. He called Chavo and said, my family has food poisoning. I'm not going to make it. I'm going to look after the family. And then he said, I just want to tell you I love you. And Chavo was like, okay. But I don't know if he's ever told him this before, but he was like, okay. So they get to the room and they're waiting. And Chavo says in the middle of the night, he gets a text from Chris Benoit that says, the back door is open and the dogs are locked up in the backyard. And he was like, it's early in the morning, so, you know, you wake up, you're kind of groggy. Then he gets the same text from Chris Benoit's wife. The back door is open and the dogs are in the backyard locked up. So he's like, what? He goes to the promotion. So they're supposed to do this match and Chris Benoit's not there. So now people are like, where's Chris? Where's Chris? So they call up the police department, and he lived in Atlanta, Georgia. Chris Benoit lived in Atlanta, Georgia. They called the police department up to do a wellness check. So somebody from the WWE said, there's a wrestler named Chris Benoit. He lives in your, area. We don't know where he's at. Can you send a unit out there to go check on him? So they go there, and they say that the neighbor, when they pulled up to his house, the neighbor was already on her way over to the house. Now, this is where a lot of holes are going to... I'm going to finish the story, and then we'll get into the holes. So when they get there, they're like, well, we have to do this wellness check. Chris Benoit, I guess, is reported like missing.
Yeah, it's like MIA.
Okay. So she said, well, I know the dogs well because I feed them when, they're on vacation. So she jumps over the fence. Listen to this. Okay. She jumps over the fence, takes the dogs in the house, and then a little bit later, she comes out screaming, Dan is dead. Dan is dead. So Chris Benoit had a wife and a son. A young son and a wife in him. Dan's dead. Dan's dead. Dan is the son. So now the cops jump over the fence and they go into the house. And as soon as they get into the house, they say they could just smell death. They knew somebody died. That's the first thing they could smell. So they go up to the first room and they see the little boy laying on his bed. So
what happened?
He died.
Of what?
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
Then they go to the next room and they find the wife dead, wrapped up in like a sheet or a carpet. Then they go downstairs and they find Chris Benoit, the wrestler. He hung himself with his own weight training equipment. So what he did was so there's this thing called the lap bar. So it's a cable that runs down. He took off the bar, had a towel around his neck, wrapped the cable around his neck, and then I guess he just snatched the weights out. So then it just pulled his neck from his shoulders. It just hung him. It was a murder-suicide. This is what they're calling it. A murder, double murder-suicide. So when everything came out, they said that Chris Benoit gave his son Xanax. I don't know how many gave him, and then he smothered him. I guess he hogtied his wife, took a phone cord around her neck and just strangled her to death. Then went downstairs to apparently he left him there for a day. Went downstairs to his weight room and hung himself. So they're saying they went through his computer records and he found out the easiest way to kill yourself. So apparently this is all stemming from Eddie Guerrero's death. So they're also saying that Bibles were left next to each body. So a Bible was left next to his son's body. A Bible was left next to his wife's body. And I don't know if there was a Bible next to Chris Benoit, but here's another funny thing. There was a big ass butcher knife under his son's bed. Just laying there. Now your wheels are turning.
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. So I don't know Chris. I don't watch wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris is dead. This happened.
Yeah, this happened 2006, something like that.
So they're gone.
Yeah, they've been gone for a while.
I would say somebody murdered them and staged as a suicide.
That's where I was getting to.
Yeah.
Now, why do you think that?
Because I don't think he was that depressed where he would have killed his own wife, hot tiger's wife, and give his son Xanax. I don't think he was that. But I don't think so, because the fact is, because he was mulling over his brother dying, I don't think he would put his wife and son in that position.
That's what the family is saying. If you were that heartbroken and depressed, you could kill yourself. Don't kill your son and
your wife.
Here's another backstory though. Okay, so back when they first got to WCW, right? His wife, Chris Benoit's wife, was married to another wrestler. This other wrestler used to write, I guess, you know how wrestling is scripted. He was writing scripts for the shows. So there was this one where his wife at the time left him and went to Chris Benoit. And it happened in real life. So he wrote, I forget the guy's name.
Okay, but it was a wrestler.
It was a wrestler. He wrote it, and then it happened in real life.
Okay, and they had a son together off of that.
Yeah.
All right, let's back up here. But Chris Benoit was stacked. He was strong.
Oh, hell yeah.
So how does somebody overtake him? That's what I'm just trying to figure out. That's another question I want to answer.
If it's enough people, if you got 6 people that come in, I don't give a fuck how strong you are, they gonna take you down. Imagine like 3 or 4 big ass wrestlers.
That's probably what happened.
You never know.
No, I think there was more. No doubt about it, because I don't think Chris Benoit would have took his son and his wife.
That's what people are saying. Like, he loved his son and his wife. So if you look at the videos that they have when you watch the documentary, it'll show you.
This is old. Yeah, this is Chris Benoit behind me, right?
No, that's something else. Okay. But the documentary just came out yesterday. About the whole situation. So when you have to watch it, man. Trust me, you will love it. I mean, you'll love it because of the way it's broken down, but it's a tragic story. And then you can pick it apart even more, because I know I'm missing some stuff. You can really pick it apart after you watch it. So after all this happens, the WWF, they wipe their... Okay, this is what they do first. So they gave Eddie Guerrero a, what would you call it? A memorial, like on air. All the wrestlers came out and they said, their pieces about Eddie, showing their love for Eddie and all this stuff. So when Chris Benoit's death happened, they did the same thing, but they did it before they knew all the facts. All they knew that Chris Benoit was dead. This is where it doesn't make sense to me. What doesn't make sense to me first is that coincidentally, the neighbor is coming over as soon as the cops show up.
Yeah.
First of all, why would she go over there? What would prompt her to go over there? So they asked her, have you seen Chris Benoit? And she was like, or the family, no, I haven't seen anybody in a while, but I'm sure their cars were in the parking lot. So
did she have something to do with it, maybe?
That's the question. Okay, so let's put this together.
Yeah, could continue.
If she's coming over there and she meets the cops at the same time, that's a coincidence. So why are you going over there anyway?
Anyway, because you don't. Okay, why are you there? You should be in your house.
Here's another question.
Yep.
They ask her, can you do something with the dogs? She just walks right into the house.
Like it was like her own damn house.
Yeah, if you gotta hop the fence, so you don't have a key to get at it. You had to hop their fence, and then you walk right into the house. So that takes me back to the text message that Chavo got. The back door is open, and the dogs are in the backyard. First of all, why would Chris Benoit text that? And then it got text from his wife's phone too.
Oh, see now, well, guys, I missed that out.
Yeah.
I totally missed that.
Yeah.
When you said it earlier. All right, listeners. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I'm about to say. Put this together. That's the murderer.
Yeah.
Yes. Those texts came from the murderers or murderers.
Because if the wife is being hog-tied and strangled, why would she text that?
Yeah. The cops didn't figure that out. Why does it take 2 people on a freaking podcast show to figure that out?
That's the question.
Yeah, so the thing is, the murderers sent texts. It wasn't them.
And
probably just tell them the body was there.
Okay.
The bodies was there.
So if you know anything about serial killers, sometimes they like to flaunt, like, yeah, I did the murder.
But I want you to find them. I want you to find my trophies, basically.
So why was there a big ass butcher knife under the son's bed? To me, that's evidence of saying this was a murder. This wasn't Chris Benoit. Yeah. I'm leaving a butcher knife because they said Chris Benoit didn't stab his son. He gave him Xanax and then smothered him with a pillow.
That's what they're saying. He didn't do that.
And then they laid him on his stomach like he was asleep. But then you leave a big ass butcher knife under his bed. To me, that's a clue of letting people know that this was an outside job. That's just me.
If I was a detective on that case, I would start putting stuff together.
Again, okay.
I wonder why would let's back up. Why would the neighbor be involved? Let's go back there. Why would she be involved? What would she have to gain from this? Unless they paid her off.
They could have gave her a whole bunch of money.
Because if she probably saw something, they said, you need to shut up.
Yeah, because again, why did she jump the fence?
Yep, and I walked into the house like she...
No, first of all, it's this. If I'm the neighbor, and I know the fence... that's weird enough. But if I'm the neighbor, let's say I'm innocent, the innocent neighbor, and I show up, and I see their cars out there, I'm sure I got their phone number. Well, why don't we call them and see if they pick up? No, they don't do that. I wouldn't hop over their fence.
Yeah.
And then take the dogs in and walk right into the house, knock on the door, and then just come out screaming.
Oh my God, Danny's dead. Yeah.
So what caused her to go to the right room? Because everything happened on the first floor. Chris was found in the basement. The wife and the son were found on the second floor.
Why else would go up to the...
So why would she automatically go in and then go right up to the room? Maybe she was trying to check on him, or the son, at least.
At least, no, I think you're right there. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think she was trying to check on him.
And then she runs down and says, Dan is dead, Dan is dead.
Next thing, the cops are trying to get in there, hop over the...
They hop the fence, they go in, and like I said, as soon as they get in there, they smell death. They went to the first room, found the son. They kept looking through different rooms. Then they finally found the wife. Then when they went downstairs, they found Chris.
They probably lost their breakfast.
They probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah, to see that type of stuff.
Especially, they probably been dead for probably longer than a couple of days if they smelled death.
Okay, so let's wrap this up, and I'm going to tell you how I feel, because we're at 40 minutes, and I still have a little bit more to talk about. So remember when we were talking about the whole scandal with... Vince McMahon and the wrestlers and the pedophilia and all this, and he said he was going to do an internal investigation.
Oh yeah, that was an earlier episode.
So he can pay his people to do this investigation, right? I'm saying this I have no facts by saying this, but I'm just using my own common sense.
Common sense, people.
Okay, so there's a wrestler now who used to wrestle for the WWF who is now a psychologist. All right. So he said Chris Benoit suffered from, which is true. So it's true that he has CTE, these concussions. And they found like there were 2 football players that committed suicide because of the concussions.
I'll just say I was one of them.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that. And there was another one who was in a high-speed chase with the cops, and he goes over to the other lane, and his car blows up. He dies instantly because of these concussions. And they said Chris Benoit had 10 times the testosterone as a normal man. So he was shooting steroids. From high school all the way. Here's another thing. From high school all the way to the WWF, he used steroids. I mean, it's no secret. You look how big he is. This guy is jacked as hell. But the question that the interview asked, brilliant question. He said, the WWF, they conduct these tests, right? And he said, Chris Benoit passed the test. He said, yeah. So you mean to tell me he had all these steroids in his body and they passed him? So they're really not doing these drug tests. They're just like, whatever. They want the strongest athletes. They don't care if you're on steroids. Go out there and perform.
Perform still. We're paying you top dollar. Do what the fuck we tell you. But at the end of the day, it's hurting them. Because steroids, your heart is its biggest muscle. So even though this didn't go down, he was going to die sometime or another.
Well, his wife wanted him to get out of wrestling. So, okay. Ooh. His wife did want him to get out of wrestling.
So, did anybody else try to find that out? But at the end of the day, why kill Chris?
I don't know. Eddie Guerrero died. They were brothers. Who knows? I don't know.
No, somebody wanted these 2 guys dead. For what reason, we don't have that. We don't have that answer.
But the narrative that is being painted is
that he was a murderer.
Chris Benoit is a murderer.
And Eddie Guerrero OD'd on his own drugs in the thing, which is not facts. Because again, we just picked it apart one by one. It was murder on both parts, just the way that the bodies was found, the way the text message was there. It doesn't take a freaking detective to figure that out.
The text message is the
bizarre. It's a bizarre one.
For you to get a text message as weird as the dogs are in the backyard and the back door is open.
But Chris and you know his wife. You know damn well they're gonna send shit like that.
Yeah, just some weird ass shit from 2 different. So, okay.
2 different
Now,
folks.
let me give you this.
Yeah.
Chris Benoit, when he called Chavo, remember we talked about that, where he said, I love you. Who's to say someone was there and said, who knows? Oh, they could have threatened and said, if you don't do this, we'll kill your family. And they end up killing him anyway. Now, this is all speculation. I have nothing to back that up.
No, we have nothing to back that up, but I think that you got a point, though.
Yeah.
Read between the lines, guys. Yeah. Use common sense.
Yeah.
And he was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, just
because he's looking at that like, what?
He said, my family has food poisoning. I'm not going to be able to make it. I love you.
Listen, guys. I have watched a lot of crime shows. I know that they're falsified, but I have watched a lot of crime shows. I have seen a lot of forensic stuff, forensic files. What to know when you could obviously he was reading off a script right there.
It could have been.
The way that you're saying that, come on, man.
Someone could have came to. So this is what the WWF did. So when they first found out, Vince McMahon was standing in the ring, I guess where they were supposed to have the event. It's empty, and he's just talking. And like I said, people were coming on saying all these good things about Chris Benoit. Then 26 hours later, when the real new... Okay, I'm going to give you this. Remember when Ray Rice, that stuff happened with Ray Rice and the NFL tried to brush it under the rug? And they didn't want nobody to know about it. He stayed in the league and everything. When it came out, then it was like, oh, now we have to do something. So who's to say that's not the same thing that happened? Who's to say that they didn't think that this story was going to get out the way it did? And then once it came out, then Vince McMahon comes back on air again and he says, yeah, we're never going to speak his name again. He pretty much said that. He said, outside of me saying this, no wrestler will ever say Chris Benoit's name ever again. So when the funeral came around, the family got no phone calls from the WWF. Now, let's put it in the context of Chris Benoit did it. You still would give condolences to the wife and the son who were innocent. They didn't even do that. They didn't call the family for nothing. They just brushed them under the rug.
Chris Benoit didn't commit those mortals. Just because the way that I'm listening to the evidence that you're telling me and what we know, and what everybody else is that's tuning in, that's listening, that knows, the fact is that, come on now, it's right there. It's staring you in the face. He was reading off a script, especially Gavo or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Guerrero.
Guerrero. Yeah. He knew Chris personally. They probably was like this. So, they knew, they were not enemies. That you. No.
I mean, him and his uncle were, more than brothers.
That's
they
what
were
I'm saying.
Super tight.
That's what I'm saying. But anyways, he knew Chris. He knew that Chris would not do that. Yeah. And the way the far-fetched and so weirdest sound when he said, "My family has poison."
I left something out, which is telling. I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
So first of all, when I said that they had this memorial for Chris first, Chavo Guerrero was on there and said, "Nope, you didn't. No one prompted him to say this. So why would he say it?" Now I'm putting this stuff together. He said, "I would trust Chris with my family." He said, "I would trust him with my kids."
Exactly.
So maybe he's saying, like, in a way that Chris didn't do it.
Chris didn't do it.
Yeah, but this is before the information came out.
I know, but the WWE took it as Chris was immortal and committed suicide. He did not.
So
he did not.
Chris had another son from a previous marriage, and he didn't. He wasn't a part of this.
He didn't die. He's still alive.
He's still alive. So he did say that Chris Jericho, which is a wrestler I forgot to mention, and Chavo were the only two people to contact him. No one else. Everybody want nothing to do with them.
Because it came from, I'm not saying it come from WWE, but somebody in the WWE ordered a hit on Chris and his family. We don't know why.
Yeah, we don't know why.
Don't know why.
Let me finish up this last point. So the guy who said, he said they did studies on his brain after he died, and you come to find out it was the concussions, the CTE. And sometimes that can change your mood. And then he's on the steroids. He was on, so they're talking about his mood change, plus you have that aggression from the steroids. That's what caused him to snap. And the loss of his best friend. And they're bringing up his journal and what he wrote in the journal. The journal didn't say anything about murdering anybody.
That's what I'm saying.
It was just about, I guess, his loss for his best friend.
It was. That's what I'm saying. If he was going to murder somebody, normally if somebody's going to commit a murder and a suicide, you would get like mostly a confession note or a.
Well, that's what they're saying.
Because it's a suicide note technically.
Yes. So that's what they're saying. I guess they're using his journal for suicide note.
It's not a suicide note. With the information you told me, that's bullshit. I smell bullshit. Yeah. Because we're putting all information. I know I keep coming to it's what he said to the guy on the phone that keep come back to that he was murdered.
It sounds that way. And like I said,
we don't know who did it.
To find a butcher knife under the son's bed
and he was not even stabbed to death.
So that's almost like I'm leaving this to let you know that someone was in here and
somebody's
probably
getting away with this. Somebody's getting away with this right now because the case is closed unless somebody reopens it.
Yeah, it's deemed Chris Benoit snapped and killed his family and then ultimately killed himself.
That's what they wanted that to happen.
But I don't think there's a motive. You could say someone's
There was
been
a motive heel. No, there was a motive heel. We just
No. I'm talking about the motive for
him.
for Chris.
No, it's no motive.
Yeah,
but this motive.
all they're saying is he had head injuries and he was. But that's not enough to kill your whole family.
No. So the why, we gotta find the why. So the police obviously thinks that it's closed because it's not. I wish I wish I was a cold case detective, because I would open this case up just so much that still needs to be answered. This thing needs to be reopened. It needs to be reinvestigated, because Chris and his son and his wife deserve justice, and the rest of the family deserve justice. There's just so much.
It's so odd that
any suspects.
But listen to. No, I mean, because it's cut and dry for them.
Yeah.
It's so odd for an employer. Like, okay, I own this organization. I have a wrestler who is MIA. Why wouldn't I call them first?
Exactly.
Why wouldn't I send
Before I call the
one
cops.
of my representatives out there? But no, you do this wellness check. It's almost like they wanted to set it up. I'm going to set up for the cops to go find it. That way, okay, let me give you this. Let's say I know there was some foul play involved. Let's say I set the foul play up by some other outside source, like I got hitman or whatever. You go take them out for whatever reason. I don't want to be on the scene of the crime. So if I send myself out there or somebody else from our organization out there, then that connects us to the crime, right or wrong?
Wrong. All right.
So I would rather let me call the police and let them find it.
Yeah, because then they can't put it on me. But at the end of the day, if that's the case, what did Chris do that Vince McMahon wanted him dead for in his family? Tell me that.
I don't know. They both won the championships.
Oh, hold on a second. Okay. Hold on a second. Let's see here. All right, my wheels are spinning. All right. Remember, you said his wife wanted him out of the WWE. Maybe the WWE said, you ain't leaving.
Who knows?
But is that enough to kill somebody in the
because
family?
I've seen other wrestlers just leave.
It has to be something more to this.
That we probably don't know.
No. Something
but
more that
isn't
he
it odd?
did.
Isn't it odd that after they won the championship, they left WCW, couldn't even get title shots. They went over to the WWF, they won championships, and then they both die afterwards.
Exactly.
They came into the WWF together. They both won championships. I think there's a video of them in the same WrestleMania. One won one championship, the other one won another. They're both in the ring hugging, and they both holding their titles up together, and then both of them died.
At a circumstance, and the cops not finding that odd? Are you serious? Like, come on, people. Like, even
that's
me and the listeners could be like,
it just doesn't add up.
Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah,
it just screams murder.
Yeah,
it's like we're not cops. It doesn't take. It's so we're coming on. I know we're coming on.
We are, but I just wanted
this is such a
one last time.
Stories.
You go to Vice. It's on YouTube. Vice. It's called The Dark Side of the Ring, and it'll say the Chris Benoit story is 2 parts. Trust me, you want to watch this. I mean, it's shot well and everything, but the story. Then you can pick it apart yourself, because I know I'm missing some things.
Yeah, we give you bits and pieces of what that, but just know that what we just told you guys
is enough.
Decide for yourself. Did Chris Benoit is immortal in suicide, or was it all staged to look like a murder suicide, and all 3 of them was murdered, plus with his friend Eddie Guerrero, which I think he was again murdered too. Come on,
yeah, because the story doesn't match up.
It's same with the Chris story. It doesn't add up.
Like you said,
because he will not murder his kid and wife.
And the text message was weird.
It came from the killers.
The dogs are in the backyard and the back door is open.
It's like the dogs knew who they were.
I mean,
the dogs didn't flip out. There was no barking.
Yeah, but why would you say the back door is open? That's almost letting you, like you said, and it came from it came from his phone and his wife's phone.
I said that.
So saying the back door is open is almost like someone broke into the house. Not the front door is open. They came through the back.
No, maybe it's a calling card.
Yeah,
they're pretty much saying, "Hey, I did this, and I want you to go find my work."
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, guys, this was a interesting show. You guys can leave a lot of comments, figure out what you guys tell us on this story.
Do you believe that Chris Benoit actually did it, or do you think there was an outside
source that murdered him and his family? Same with Eddie Guerrero. Was he on drugs and died in his hotel room, or was he poisoned to be dead, to die? For what reason? We don't know why these two wrestlers was murdered. I think WWE has something to do with it. That's just me. Mm-hmm. For what reason? Probably never gonna know. But anyways, we're coming up on 55 minutes. Well, this has been a good episode 27. 28 will be out. We'll record 28 next week for some more great topics.
Absolutely.
I am Aaron Swarm. I hope you guys enjoyed.
And I'm RM. Peace.